This is practice A for section 7.4. We're going to look at special right triangles. 45, 45, 90s are what we're going to stick to in this video. We'll do the 30, 60, 90s in a different video. So we know this triangle is a 45, 45, 90. That's a right isosceles triangle. So if one leg is 4, the other leg is 4, because those acute angles match, those sides match. Now if you want the length of the hypotenuse, you don't need to do any calculating. You take that leg length, which is 4, and you multiply it by the square root of 2. And there's no simplifying that needs done there. The square root of 2 is already simplified, so 4 times that is simplified as well. Number 2, same type of problem. If you know one leg is 6, the other leg is 6, the hypotenuse is 6 square root of 2. That's how fast we want to know those answers. Number 3, this time they tell you the hypotenuse is 3 times the square root of 2. That means that your leg has a length of 3. The number that's in front of that square root of 2 is the length of those legs. You want the answer that fast. Number 4, both legs are 5. Notice how we don't know any angle measures. How do we know it's a 45, 45, 90? Well, again, if your legs are the same, then that means these angles are the same, which forces them each to be 45. So those are things you have to know if they present the issue that way. If your legs are 5, your hypotenuse is 5 square roots of 2. Watch yourself on this one. How long are the legs if the hypotenuse is 2? Well, this is a tougher problem, or a hard problem as we considered it before. If your hypotenuse is a whole number and you want the legs, what you're really doing is dividing by the square root of 2. So I could show you the work for that. You want to rationalize the denominator. Square root of 2 divided by the square root of 2 is equal to 1. So when I multiply this fraction by 1, I'm not changing its value. I'm just making it look different. Notice how both numerator and denominator have a 2. So those cancel, and you're left with the square root of 2. That's how long your legs are. That's one that involves a little bit of work if you're not real sharp with this process. Remember, if your hypotenuse is a whole number, all you're doing is dividing that number by 2 and then putting a square root of 2 on after it. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. There's really a 1 here. And then multiply it by the square root of 2. Okay? Here's how you know it's right. If you had the leg and it was the square root of 2, if you multiplied it with the square root of 2, you would have the hypotenuse. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. Number 6, same deal. You know these are the same, so that means these legs are the same. This is a 45, 45, 90. If that's 9 square roots of 2, then both legs are 9. That's how 45, 45, 90 triangles work. We're going to skip down here to number 13 because there's a 45, 45, 90 triangle there. Now, this uses a table, so you can do a whole bunch of problems just by looking at this one model. So if x is 2, those are your legs, how long is the hypotenuse? It would be 2 square roots of 2. Let's say that your hypotenuse is the square root of 2. How long would the legs be? Well, it's whatever multiplies with that. What is in front of this square root of 2? It's really just 1. 1 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 2. What if your legs are 4? And the hypotenuse is 4 square root of 2. If your hypotenuse is 3 square root of 2, your legs are 3. If your legs are 7, your hypotenuse is 7 square root of 2.